I'm Dr. Vivek Gupta. I'm Senior Consultant Cardiologist in Apollo Hospital, Delhi. Inside the cath lab with my team, first of all, I think the more important is technician who always guides us, Mr. Avtar. Then our junior consultant, Dr. Gurudat. Then our resident doctor, Dr. Chinmay Gupta. And then, of course, very important, the nursing who are very important because they always support by pushing and pulling the wires. Madam? Speak. Rinta. Okay, so this is a very interesting case I am going to discuss today. This case is actually clinical history of acute coronary syndrome about a month back, and he's 66-year-old non-diabetic hypertensive patient. He never had symptoms. He's a doctor by profession. When the angiography was done in another hospital in Lucknow, they revealed that it had a tight stenosis in the LAD and tight stenosis in circumflex. But at the same time, there was an AV fistula, large AV fistula coming out from the circumflex just before the lesion and going into pulmonary artery. So a lot of discussion was done, and basically all the people, they thought that bypass surgery is a better option because they wanted to close the fistula. We did an echocardiogram, and here just to see the feasibility and finding out the shunt size. And when we did the echocardiogram with the help of shunt size, we found it was 1.4. That means the QP and QS was less than 2. Though the QP/QS may not be applying here as the marker because that is happening for the ASD as well as PDA. But thinking that patient did not have any symptoms, this patient had no symptoms right through his age till the age of 66, and AV fistula, of course, we all know is a congenital malformation. So we thought that since he did not have any angina, that this fistula is just an incidental marker. What do you say? 65. Years is 65 age. Okay, so it's okay, small mistake. The patient is 65-year-old. So this patient had no symptoms of angina till the time of 65 before the acute coronary syndrome. So we thought that this fistula does not require to be closed. Initially we were putting a stent graft. We thought that we put a stent graft, occlude the AV malformation across the area from where it was arising. But then we thought we should use a regular stent. Why we did not use a stent graft? Of course, stent graft should always be used in an emergency condition. If you are really thinking that you want to close the fistula, but this is not required, and we thought that since we have a high rate of stent thrombosis in any type of stent graft which were available, we thought of using a regular stent. So now we go on to the pictures. We show the first picture here, and this is the angiographic view before the lesion, before they did anything. You can see that this is a tight circumflex stenosis just beyond the AV fistula, which is going to pulmonary artery, and then of course you can see a proximal LAD lesion and the mid LAD lesion. Okay. It's okay. You go a little close to show the lesion because this is better. So this is the lesion with the circumflex artery, yes, and this is the fistula, yes, and then there's a lesion in the LAD mid, and then there's distal LAD. Show the LAD. This is diagonal, large diagonal arising, and there's a large diagonal arising also from the area of stenosis. So it was a complicated case because the diagonal is arising from the area of the lesion of the proximal LAD lesion. We always discuss that bypass surgery could have been done, but LAD is small, diminutive. It looks like diminutive, which is not actually. It is large LAD filling with the collateral also. In this view, you can see that diagonal. This is the LAD lesion, and the diagonal. Show the diagonal arising with a small lesion. So we had to have a very important approach. Next view, we thought of doing the LAD first. We wired the LAD. Next view, show the. So we have seen the angiographic view, and the RC was normal. This is very important. RC was normal. That gave us a lot of comfort while doing a procedure of a complex case in a left main system. At the same time, patient has a bilateral renal artery stenosis. Next. So this is we are dealing with a double vessel disease with the AV malformation requiring a 3 stent and perhaps a stent also in the bilateral renal artery, which we discussed with the family. So now we are wiring. The strategy was very complicated because we thought, what should we do the diagonal, because diagonal is a large branch arising right from the stenosis. So we did a wire of the LAD. Quick, show the wiring. Yes, yeah. So we have put 2 wires, one in LAD as well as in diagonal, and the strategy was to pre-dilate the mid LAD lesion. Next, then pre-dilate the proximal LAD lesion because we want to put a stent in the mid LAD first, and then also we wanted to pre-dilate. We have put a stent in the mid LAD now with a good result. Next. The stent 2.5 into 28 millimeter diameter. Its length we have done. Pronova XR, and the result is so good. You can see that the LED has come back so large LED. Initially we were thinking to ignore the LED, but LED should never be ignored because LED is always the largest blood cell. Now we're doing the pre-dilatation of the diagonal branch. Why we're doing it? Because before putting a stent in the proximal LED, we want to do a pre-dilatation so that this branch may not close down. So now we're doing the stent implantation in the proximal LED with 3.3 millimeter into 15 millimeter. Open cell, we chose here to use open cell diameter stent of the Abbott Vascular Expedition, and now you see the result. So result was not so bad because you see the LED is fully flowing. Go back. LED is fully flowing, but the diagonal is there flowing, but of course there is some sort of a spasm or some that the diagonal is not showing up very well, but I hope that this will come back because the diagonal is flowing. Patient had no symptom of angina, no symptom of anything. Okay, next. So now we did a quick, the challenge was coming to the circumflex. We have done the LED, we quickly wired the LED, it was not so, circumflex, which was not so difficult with the whisper wire. We went across to this and put this pre-dilatation, and then after the pre-dilatation, we have done a quick pre-dilatation, and then next view, we put a stent across it. We chose not to use the stent graft. We have used a regular closed stent design Pronova Vascular. Next, this is stent, and after the stent, the artery which was 95% stenosis is now coming back. Okay, now this is the stent the stent there deployed. Next view, next. Yes, the perfect result as far as circumflex is concerned, but of course there is a patent AV vascular the fistula. We never wanted to close it, and the final result is perfectly all right. The diagram will come back 3 DES in a case where we wanted to put a stent graft, but not required because of QPQS, because of the patient had a stent case. To summarize this case, a 65-year-old gentleman, non-diabetic, hypertensive, had recent acute coronary syndrome. The angiography showed a large AV fistula from the circumflex to the pulmonary artery. QPQS was not significant. Patient had no symptoms before this age. We thought the ACS is the only thing which you have to be treated. We did a 2 stent in the proximal LED as well as mid LED, regulating stent, and the stent across the fistula where the lesion was there in circumflex without thinking of stent graft. The patient is fully cured almost. Diagonal will come back. So this is a small change in the strategy. We thought that AV fistula does not require to be closed because this was largely asymptomatic. Doing a stent graft could have been another option, but we did not do that because of the higher chances of stent thrombosis as such. But of course, if it was really required to be closed, because if we had steel phenomena in center of angina before also, which was not there, we thought of not doing it. Thank you very much. I hope that the things are very clear. Again, with Mr. Avtar, Dr. Chinda Gupta, Dr. Gurudat, and Brinta from the Cath Lab of Apollo Hospital, New Delhi on July 19th, 2016. Thank you very much. I'm Dr.